where did music start for you? What's your first musical memory?
So just listening in general, my parents always had like this bookshelf that was just full of CDs, and I would just like pull the CDs down and like pop one into the DVD player because I was a 90s kid. Pop one into the DVD player, which was kind of a newer thing at the time, and just like listen to it with the big blue screen on the TV with just the audio on, because obviously if it was a music CD played on the DVD, there wasn't like some cool video or anything. And I would just listen to all of their CDs just out of curiosity. Then kind of after that, I started finding, music of my own. My favorite thing to do when I was younger, and I'm really grateful to my parents for this, is that they would kind of just like, we'd go to like thrift stores a lot, and I'd just go through all the books and all the CDs, and I would just find like two or three CDs that looked the most interesting. And I think at the time the CDs were like $1 or something. So I was able to kind of build up a little bit of a collection for myself. And after that, that's kind of how I started building my own like music collection, or building my own opinions and stuff like that off of music. It wasn't something where my parents just kind of shaped everything I did. And then after that, I started my first, or I didn't start my first band, but I played in my first band when I was like, I think I was about 15 or 16, something like that. But I actually started out playing bass guitar and doing like some like very, very light backing vocals for my older brother's band when we were kids. And it was like not a great band. It was pretty rough, but we ended up playing together quite a bit, me and my older brother, for a few years after that. And we were actually doing like industrial music. So hardcore is like a totally new thing for me. Vocals in general actually are like a super new thing for me. I just started doing vocals with this band actually, and it's just been kind of a learning process the entire way.
What bands were you listening to like in your teenage years around that time?
In my teenage years, I was like super into like the grunge thing, of course. So like I listened to a lot of like Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Nirvana, stuff like that. But I also listened to a lot of industrial and like, I don't want to say techno, but a lot of kind of like really just like industrial and like house music. So a lot of the bands that I liked were like Ministry. I really liked. I liked this band called Terror Fact, which is like a super, I don't really know how to describe them, but it's like a very like noise kind of like oriented industrial band. But I also liked, I've always liked, Jane's Addiction was another one of my favorites. And then I listened to a lot of like, because of my dad, Janis Joplin, Led Zeppelin, and my mom as well, stuff like that.
Nice, good mix.
Yeah. It was a lot of like kind of classic stuff. But
So what was the moment that you like discovered hardcore then? Was it late on?
it was a little bit later on, but I would have been in high school, and me and my brother kind of always like bounced music off of each other. And I think that he was probably the one that started getting me into hardcore. And hardcore is so interesting because, as you know, I'm sure that it's like just such a broad term, and there's so many different things that could be considered hardcore, right? But actually, I think one of the first hardcore bands that I ever got into was like, as a rite of passage, was oh my God. Oh, that's so embarrassing. Jamie Josta, his band. I can't believe I'm like drawing a blank.
Hatebreed.
Yeah, Hatebreed, of course. Oh my God, so embarrassing. Yeah, I kept wanting to say Harm's Way, which was also another band that I listened to a lot, like starting out listening to hardcore, but I was like, it's not Harm's Way, it's with an H and an A. Oh my God. Hatebreed. I loved Hatebreed. That was like one of the very first like hardcore bands that I started getting into, which I think is the same for a lot of other like young people as well.
What about recently? Have you been listening to like a lot of new bands?
I have been listening to some newer bands, but yeah, like one of the ones that I've been listening to the most has been, I don't know if you've ever, it's kind of outside of the genre, but it's called Model Actress. They're really good.
Yeah, I saw them in a club in Montreal.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Love them so
amazing
much.
band. Amazing.
I'd love to see them live. I'm sure their live show is like even better.
Yeah, he's such a good front man. He like
Oh, I
goes
believe it.
all around the crowd and everything. And
Well,
he's
yeah, even like the music that he or even like the vocals on the recording is kind of like you almost like are blushing a little bit because he's like really doing something very different, in my opinion, from what a lot of people are doing. This one, I know I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, but we've been listening to some Lingua Ignota as well. Yeah, she's been touring a lot, and I just missed her. She just played New Orleans, but she's incredible. Those are two very like powerful vocalists, in my opinion. Soul Glow, I really like Soul Glow. Obviously they're very unique, and I think that they're doing something incredible right now. They're just so different. There's nobody like them in the scene, in my opinion. So yeah, those are some newer ones I'm listening to.
It sounds like you have a very eclectic music taste. Would that be?
I'm all over the place. Yeah, I'm all over the place.
What's an album that you love that would surprise your fans?
Oh no, I don't know. I think at this point, I don't know if anything would surprise anybody, because I've got some like pretty like out there tastes. But let me think on that one for a minute, because I'm gonna have to think on that one. Well, I would say one that might surprise people a bit, but maybe not, because I think that like people are a little bit less afraid to like admit that they like things that aren't like metal or hardcore now. I really like this album called Control by SZA. That was like her first like big album. I just think she's an incredible songwriter, and she's like a really soulful singer. I think she's amazing.
I love her voice.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard the song she did with James Blake? It's one of my favorite songs. When her vocal comes in, it's just like you get shivers.
Oh, she's amazing.
She's amazing.
Yeah, there's nobody that sounds like her right now in the music industry, in my opinion.